That was a quantum jump in the size of GDP. There are many things with the infrastructure. Make or pray, every community I go to is thanks. When I my Kenya, when I my hospital, when I my school, when I say, we feel so your police station I see your jack and rim, your school and now see your jack and rim. You understand? And so we get a lot of gratitude for the work we did, in terms of improving people's lives. But you always sit in hindsight and say that, look, Anka, there are some things that we could have done better.
Yes.
And the same mistakes end up being here. It's to do with youth employment. Again, we're taking time bomb by Eba. Oko village, there are a lot of young people. We are SHS, we are there, and we're some better few. So I often not to it. And my journey say, our next year, when we say we'll do the hospitals and things, but I will say, call how to find employment for these young people. And she said, Papa, we have to look at. So a mind to say Germany near the other. They are moving them some countries and they are skilled manpower. And yet just the long book learning. What I say? Most people are middle-level technicians, plumbers, welders near there. I always give this example. Say, Abraham, president, when we were working on the new oil fields, now you believe some subsea pipelines. And also, we pay 300 welders. Maybe because of welders, apprentice, we are almost welding. I mean, so 300 welders, almost they must have the American certificate of welding. That's the first time I might say there were some certificates in terms of proficiency in welding. And you say that certificate is awarded only at the International Maritime University. And you hear 300. They tested so many people. You hear 60 pay. And eventually, Okofa be free Cote d'Ivoire and or be free Italy to complete that particular project. And about my dream say, our economy is changing. I feel it's not just the book long, any long grammar, PhD near there. We need people with skills, plumbing near there. The oil rig, they have plumbers, they have electricians and others, but proficiency, is of a certain level. Until we need to shift our attention, say, you have more skills training. Your technical university called vocational. You bet me the young people are almost training in vocational and technical, like a kind of modular system near the Omaba campus, and come and train them, over that short vacation period in some skills. Somewhere in here, they go back, do some practicals. The university is open, near the Omaba to finish the program. At the end of it, we give them a certificate. The way the economy is going, you hear crane operators, you hear bulldozer operators, you hear excavator operators, you hear people with that kind of skill. And so, your towns need to be only young people now, we have free SHS, but only skill be a obetimi de enye juma. Na public service on so and can be a obey juma or as a clerk or something. And also it's oversubscribed. And we need to make a shift. And on hindsight, I realized that infrastructure is not the only thing. Of course, it improves people's lives because you have better health care if you build a hospital. Children are able to go to school if you build a school. But we need to we must upscale the skills of our young people. And then also taking advantage of our young entrepreneurs. In the first term, we tried to do it with a 10 million Ghana cedi facility under the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative. On hindsight, I could have expanded that program more rapidly because some of those are assisted under that program. They've managed to go on and establish more businesses, and they've employed people. There's a girl, University of Science and Technology, on a proposal on what she wanted to do. Also, a person aquaculture. And your fundeno, your talk cages, and everything. And she went and set it up. And in a short time, she was earning far more money than on the colleagues at APFE Tech. And you should see here, or cages now, or 90 cages now, so use a canoe, come or have a fish there. And she was applying it directly to restaurants in Accra near, so we can take advantage of entrepreneurial spirit. We share digital and service area. There are millions of jobs that we can do there. And Ubusam say, what do I think? Say,
Uncle,
yeah, I think, say, our attention on youth entrepreneurship, providing employment for young people is what I think we could have done better under my administration.
What?
We had artificial job creation, youth employment.
Yeah.
Over 2 years, you go and sweep or you go and direct traffic, you do something. After 2 years, now you come out, you still don't have a sustainable job. It's the same with NAPCO.
Yeah.
NAPCO have 80,000 graduates. They do all kinds of things. At the end of the NAPCO, you can still find sustainable jobs for them. Into those artificial job creation, a marking time while you try and open things up for them, but they created sustainable jobs. And they said we must believe in the entrepreneurial spirit of our young people, and that is going to be my focus in any new administration.
We'll come into those details. Meaning, say the Brina or People's Manifesto. So when we get to the new policies, our what the EBA would interrogate and no. Me per se share see free ana yehwe. For some time now, Waba Pro ewo Ghana. You were active in the 2008 campaign as running mate to the then flag bearer of your party, John Evans Atamels. 2012, you were the leader of your party, the flag bearer. 2016 year campaign. How different is 2020 campaigning from all those campaigns?
So 2008, 2012, and at 2016.
Yeah.
I'll compare 2016 and now.
Okay.
There were regions I friend swing regions. And Central region is one of them.
Yeah.
Western region is another. Bronga Hafu is also a swing, and a Greater Accra.
Yeah.
The traditional political parties leading NDC and MPP have our strongholds, basically. And you will always expect, say, Ashanti and Eastern, NPP is likely to win. Now, say, Volta, Northern, NDC is expected to win. But then the other regions, they on, what happens at a particular time. Until 2016 compared to now, which means that swing is inclining in our favor.
Okay.
Because
swing regions no Piaba in
I can see say Piaba, but also say the regions have been high. There are some places we always have been strong. The Oko Western regions, Western North. We've always been strong in Western North. Then Oko Bronga Hafwa. We've always been strong in Bono East.
Oh, okay. The Techiman area,
no? The Techiman going towards Kwame Danso, that area. We've always been strong there. And the analysis show that we have a swing coming towards us because ABM people, Becca said they are strong even. We can see that there's a certain positive shift towards us. Only you interact with them and so on and so forth. And there are a lot of policies MPP have got them very wrong. What I'm saying is they've handled it very disastrously. And that can cost them, especially in the gold mining areas. A lot of work on that sector. Ubisa Tony Obinga, he was head of Minerals Commission. We had a program for re-engineering the whole small-scale mining area because in our time, Professor Mills Abreso, we also had soldiers running after these young boys, but it would not lead to anything positive. That was not the way to do it. You cannot use force of arms to stop this thing. So you need to bring in some incentive, bring better supervision into the sector. And we did a whole program. And President Akufo-Addo said if he feels, to check this Galamsey minutes, he's prepared to quit the presidency. So he should resign now because he has failed miserably when it comes to the rivers are dirtier. Let me come at this point. The rivers are dirtier today than they were in 2016.
That's what I'm coming to.
There's more devastation in forests. Go to the forest and see. Just go there is
exactly my point.
Some NPP activists doing Galamsey.
And you raise a very important issue.
Yeah.
Your administration. Fighting Galamsey. This administration, to the extent that the president himself said that the presidency is online. The than rather more policies, because it's becoming something around all of us here next.
Yeah.
If you got happy and say, oh, by the next president, your issues and your programs and your policies will be fantastic on paper. Implementation, supervisor, effective implementation is going to be a challenge. That has been the bane of this country.
But that's because government accountable. In the Galamsey,
we know
all they did was to remove ordinary Ghanaians and others more small-scale concessions and give those same concessions to their party people. Until DCE's party chairman,
that's a serious allegation. No?
It's true. Investigate it. It's your job. Go investigate it.
No, we should not even run away from that fact.
No, it's very, on the ground.
It's very true that both political parties, when they are in power, in as much as John Dramani and Mahama, His Excellency, reasonable number of NDC people patronize.
Government officials have never been involved in this way in small-scale Galamsey in our time as compared to now. Compared to now, party executives, national executives, and MPP who need the power of Galamsey.
Of course, by virtue of videos and all those. Let's not also pretend here. Fact is that the Galamsey...
the point I'm making is Akufo-Addo has failed when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. Into Okasa in the presidency too on the line, he probably shouldn't even be running for office. He should be resigning now.
On the Galamsey minutes.
Of course. But I was using it just as an example. Say some of those things ever back to hunt them. Because they've not been fair and just when it comes to the issue of small-scale mining. Okay. And a lot of people are almost encountered. According to Sekoko football, we be any and pass them out. And the online people are almost small-scale concessions. They had the excavators. They're also doing small. Also, we enjoy. Let everybody stop. Also, Oka said, Omunjano. And then you let them stop. You took the excavators and give to your party people to go and do the same. It's not fair.
Your Excellency, on the Galamsey bit,
but I know I just brought it in.
Yeah, I know. But finally, what are you do differently if you are giving
your manifesto? There's a whole section there.
On the
Maybe
when we get to the People's Manifesto, we'll talk about it. I remember on the region thing, or the swing regions.
Yeah.
And I believe
things are different. I just gave Galamsey as an example. Look at cocoa sector. The same thing. Because swelling shoot disease, fertilizer, and find cocoa no. Pempeswa the cocoa sector no drew, It was inviting to go into cocoa. Meaning Mendam for Krachi for me, They went and got land and planted cocoa, and today they've been harvesting quite good AE, but they can afford to buy fertilizer. Our rural areas, the farmers cannot afford to buy the fertilizer. Fertilizer knows one for good Adriano, and so send our Ubenya cocoa ni bebre, media manoni. So we thought about it. Why let them buy subsidized fertilizer? Fertilizer no more, and let them apply it so that we can get more cocoa to send out. In 2016-2017 crop year. Yeah, he had 967,000 tons of cocoa. Professor Mills Abreso, he hit the 1,067,000 tons of cocoa. Since then, what is happening? Barely 700,000 tons. And it's over bloated. They've employed all kinds of political apparatchiki in cocoa board. Getting broke. And can get 600 million here on because you're African Development Banker. Cocoa board would have gone broke this year.
But Your Excellency, they've explained there is this viral Western North region.
The viral disease started immediately John Mahama left office.
No.
But as soon as I left office, the viral disease.
It's taking a huge way now. We're in session also, I think, about 3 weeks ago. And from Cocoa Board, technocrats, they tell us close to 300,000 hectares all bent. In the Western North, over 300,000 tons of cocoa. And I say they are doing barely 120, 130,000 tons. And then impact on the national total. And there are reasons why.
So what are they doing to fight the virus? What are they doing to fight
the
we were doing replanting ourselves. We had nurseries all over the place. And we're cutting down all the old cocoa trees and the diseased cocoa trees. And we're replanting. We're also doing it. And yet, they are not the first to do replanting. Near our nurses, we're giving free seedlings to the farmers. Right now, even the way it's not correct. And they pay the gang members, I think 500 or 700 cedis a month. And say, and also, they'll come and cut the trees and they pay the gang members. Then they'll say, we'll come and plant it on this day. Sometimes 6 months, now cocoa no at the hall, they haven't come to plant. When they even come and plant, normally also they brought their plantain sucklings and some cocoa no was here in order that it gives a shade. And you know, say you could do and you're planting. Now could do West region or yeah, or you are doing now. My point is that farmer no on any nefo. That money amudi gangs no pay to the farmer, no fapa, no muntria Indiano, no Indiana there. By your time. And then pay him a certain stipend, for the period. So as can amudi gang for no. That's 700 cedis a month. You can pay the farmer for a certain number of months or years until his cocoa starts producing. Until we will adopt a different system. Not the system
with the cutting down and replanting.
And pay them to cut down the trees and replant, and then we'll use that extra money, Electoral gangs, to give the farmer a stipend for the period that it will take for his cocoa to grow.
In order for us to go according to a certain plan, I mean, say the issues we but just to buttress a point out here, say swing regions, air shifted gradually to the NDC.
The other part is Cocoa Roads program almost stopping here.
Cocoa Roads,
yes, near you see $150 million every year. We take $150 million to repair the cocoa roads.
But Obi Mani take this of a cocoa roads no. Now money so ade hu say emia omudi cocoa juma ana mo edebe bo makwan ana say say East Legon ana say baby frunku bi wo ha.
No. It was a cocoa growing.
Because you wouldn't say a ball called we say mo koji cocoa sika se mo de
Asawasi road
cocoa sika na mo koji se mo de cocoa akwan no. They be na Maswasi, they be na East Legon.
Aswasi
Ashanti region.
Ashanti region in cocoa. We said the cocoa growing regions. Cocoa growing regions.
But Your Excellency, for instance, to say East Legon Atomic.
We didn't use cocoa roads money for East Legon and Atomic. We never use cocoa roads money in Greater Accra. When we are a year under the cocoa roads rehabilitation program, it's in the cocoa growing region. Now, cocoa growing region, some more urban roads, some more feeder roads, some more highways. We didn't say Suhum, Swedru. We did asphalting in Swedru Township because it's in a cocoa growing region. Because it's a town, the cocoa farmers, some of them live in Swedru. What are you saying?
So the focus was the region.
It was the region, the roads in the region, urban roads, feeder roads, highways. What are you saying? Now, Asawasi is in Ashanti. Asawasi and Ashanti and cocoa growing region.
Okay.
Swedru is in Central region. Central region and cocoa growing region. And that was the focus. They just didn't understand the project. Won't tell Senso Abusa implemented project. Nobody has asked me anything. Nobody has asked any of those who were working on the project anything. The same engineers and almost will be in you pay $10 million for an audit. Audit to know the report about also 260 pages.
Report.
Now there are reports that have been longer than 260 pages. Publish the summary of what you found because taxpayers can audit for that audit to be done, so that we know what went wrong. It was perfect, but if you have done an audit, let us know what went wrong, so that in future, our program will know how to improve it.
Okay. But Patrol, finally, on the report bit.
Okay, before we go to the report, Nyamekano said that's one of the things that will help.
Why the swing?
Because asking for sutures for Praso Road, very important road. Now contractor Guso then they said stop work. 4 years now, with the contract final. All the work he did has been eroded and so yes, a very important link. Because so far as for so you come down all the way to Yamransa Junction.
Yeah.
And I link it to the Boise. What you mean for Praso Ekotakwa.
Yeah.
And so that's a very important link road. But Jai Jumano, you go to the road today, It will cost us twice that amount to go back and do that.
Go back and do it.
We share Gambia number 2 to Cheremesu Quine. Yeah, the first layer of quota eguso, and yes, you munja ejuma. And now for first one, a tutu tokro. And now, if you want to do it again, this is a dri quota the free so. Now sand the gravel here, and then you roll it before you put a quota on it again. The same thing we call Bronga Hafwa. I've gone around the whole country, and I've seen all those roads. You're going to be free through Bodom, Eko Piejema Quanta. We gave it to 2 contractors. You know, they do that for the final. I say they also put quota on it, first quote. So it's costing the nation more. And instead of letting, what stops you from, say, contractors, no, they should continue working. You can investigate while they are working.
While they work.
Stop. I feel, what could you have $10 million for an audit? Get the audit report at Brewer. Also, just a member of office now would be reporting no action.
Okay, and I can maybe say Your Excellency, because I listened to Oluwabuahin Edu, CEO of Cocoa Board. Now, as a report now ready, but if you are interested, you can apply, and the report will be given to you, or you can come to the office. I don't know if it belongs
to the public. Why should we apply? Black Stars probe. And you have more than 260 pages. Yamfa Black Stars probe Amamo. It's in the public interest that the public know what happens. Oma Inoko apply for Black Stars probe and Yecha on your wall.
That's the 2014 World Cup.
Exactly. And a bulkier document than Cocoa Roads probe. I mean,
okay.
The point is neither here nor there.
You follow
points. Expecting some media people, you press him. Say it's a public
to get
document.
the report.
Yes, me and your report.
Okay. It is so for one man who said the reasons why
things are
swinging.
Oko Bono is le Bono. They promised them say they will do a cashew development authority for them.
Yeah,
they've done that.
Tree crop.
Now why the tree crop?
You are doing tree crop authority. Cashew ball and you free Abaimu 2016.
Yes.
Now cashew ball is 8 cedis per kilo, and now cover 2 cedis per kilo. The cashew farmers are crying. I'm just giving you the points. You understand? Because a lot of the promises they made, and our promises were too fantastic. One district, one factory. Value chain economics does not support factory per. The economic value chains go beyond political delineations. And the crop processing zones. And we are mapping up the whole country. And comparative advantages in terms of crops. Okonauka Kashua, it is Bono East and Bono. Almost every majority of the people are into cashew farming. So you put processing capacity there to be able to purchase their cashew and process it for export. You go somewhere, ginger, Oko baby rice. Cassava. So we're looking at it across the political delineation. It's not restricted to one district, one factory, a populist. One district, one factory, one district, one factory. After we're raising the panel expectations, say, our district will be factory. Up and now, also we see 58 factories. A lot of those 58 factories in factories say, what order that? Will be factory, I will see. What's your organizing your person, your mouse, kakakra? Also, at the end of here, me perimeter fence, mini wall. Na Ghana is my basic wall near the one district, one factory, basic or factory in him.
No, but President,
tricycle assembly, Tamale.
Yes.
Professor Mills at Bresso, and you see tricycle factory. I was asked as vice president to come and commission it, but I didn't have the time, so we never commissioned it. And now, the one district, one factory, a factory that existed long before Nanado became.
But according to the minister in charge of that sector, trade and industry, apart from the fact that we have Exim Bank facility, there are other incentives, but for you coming under the 1D1F umbrella, for example, machinery will be imported, free duty, tax holidays for 5 years.
There's already free duty on capital goods. All the machines, Basel, the basic factory is free. It's not because you're under 1D1F. If you bring in, yes, it's existed for a long time. If you bring capital goods to set up a factory, even a hotel, if you're setting up a hotel, and you're bringing furnishings and towels and things for the hotel, it comes free of duty.
Since when, sir?
Since long ago. It's been there. It's part of the exemptions for investment, for investors. I know you can't say, free duty. Free duty, if you bring machines to a factory, you don't pay duty. Go and check. It's not the 1D1F that introduced that.
So you are saying, sir, one, the idea to have a factory
the
in each district,
it was populist, what you're saying. And so you created the impression in the minds of Obia, say, Omo district, Ubesi factory. And the idea of a factory is
something huge.
Factory, what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so now for beekeeping a year now, when you 1D1F, some then you come and say that's the factory. They don't accept that.
But they were categorical, said they are doing that in collaboration with the private sector. Yes, districts, but the private sector would have to show interest.
Definitely, I don't discount that the private sector should be involved. The private sector should be involved. Young crop processing zones, and you're buying processing factories. We expect the private sector to participate. Make up Kintampo and say the MP for Kintampo. In our time, near Edif, your facility.
Yeah.
Or they see cassava processing plants. Or processing cassava into cassava flour. Or supplying breweries. Almost here 45 tons a day. Or over 20 tons. Until say you have more capacity. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
But you saw Edif financing end of the year. There was some top-up credit they should have given to him. They refused to give it to him. Until he used his own resources and finished it. I'm just giving you examples of, say, the private sector can participate.
Yeah.
And this is an example of the private sector participating. But one district, one factory. Into districts are factory in your mind. How do you expect them to
work in progress?
Work in progress.
Yes.
As I say, no, na delivery truck, you go and it's cattle and sheep grazing on the land.
Your Excellency,
maybe examples of a nearby.
I get you.
This $1 million per constituency is being a total flop.
The 1 million per constituency?
Make all constituency, 4 toilets. Toilets don't pay MVA. And that is their 1 million per constituency project.
Well,
there may be other projects.
There are no other projects anywhere. And the point even is, those projects are almost kind of, the district assemblies used to do them. Now your district assemblies, 7.5% of government revenue.
Yes.
And the district assemblies were building their own toilets, building their schools, their clinics, and so on and so forth. Waba, you've reduced district assembly common fund from 7.5 to 5. And as our extra Sikano, you are putting it in the development authorities. And then you are coming and saying, I'm building toilets for you under 1 million per constituency. This, is complete Isakawa. You are taking their own money and recycling it and bringing it back. Leave it to them. They will decide where they want. Maybe a new toilet in Pune, they are most important.
Yes. I think there are issues.
The analysis of value for money on the projects that have been done in the districts in the constituencies under the 1 million per constituency. And then find out if any constituency has even got up to $500,000.
Okay.
After 4 years, $1 million per year. And by now, the value of projects in those constituencies should be $4 million.
Yes.
And may the Mamua's homework. Go to districts and see the projects under 1 million per constituency and see whether they match up to.
But there was that admission, Mr. President, said first year was to put in place the setup. In the first year, they couldn't disburse. Second and third,
fourth year.
Yes.
3 years, $3 million.
Who do that
homework. Go and check and see what the value of projects
we will get to your manifesto, but before we get there, Adebakwa, and you're quite worried. Your good self and your party, is this electoral commission and maybe omode to akwema. Mususu say you as for mine, everything the how kesiaba. You've been there before. It becomes very worrying knowing how the commission works. Now, when you get any opportunity, you are suggesting or drawing attention that the probability of this commission causing chaos is very high. It's very worrying.
I've been involved in elections in this country since 1996. Abraham Ijna for the first time as a parliamentary candidate and became member of parliament. I've seen how the Electoral Commission operates. I've seen our electoral process evolve over time. I voted in 92. Like I said before, you vote no now you use steel ballot boxes.
Yeah.
And I about opaque ballot boxes. You develop a system now, we do biometric, registration near there. So I've seen our I've seen the Electoral Commission operate over the years. I'm raising the alarm because I can see the warning signs of chaos in the elections. One, because I think we have a problem of competence in the commission. At any time when there have been changes in the commission, it has been one person retiring, somebody coming, or two people retiring, somebody coming. But the commission has always had a certain continuity. What you say?
Yes.
In Tibia, one of the deputy commissioners retire, and then a new one comes and joins. What I say? Or when Afaijan went, Charlotte came. When she came, Sule and the lady were there already. But this one, the president cleared the whole top and brought 3 new people who have never ever run an election before. What I say? So one, there's a problem of competence. Now what they do is when they come to the commission, the tried and tested hands are they transfer all of them out and bring new people. It's become double jeopardy. Now here the actions of the commission from when they took office till now. What you say? It's completely. Omahine, dabe no ati say registration nipa 21,000 omudia ira or register. And dabe no ati say we've had duplicate. About yes, only 7,000 now still almost 7,000. But I'm saying even one vote is important. What I say? Because our presidential election says 50% plus 1. And that one could make the difference, maybe. But let's put that aside. Voters ID number.
Yes.
So far ID number now, different numerals. Over first number now, it has to do with the region where you are registering. In Tiankas, a central region.
Yeah.
Into the first 2 or 3 numbers show that you are in central region. The next number will show the district where you are. The next one will show the constituency or something. Then the next one will show your polling station. Then the final one will show your unique number. Maybe you were the 104th person to register. Now that number is unique to you and your polling station. And see, the question I ask is, nasa unique number no? Ebekwako PSA Obi in another place has the same number. Up to now, they've not been able to explain that to us properly.
But the reason for the exhibition, so we can identify all of these mistakes and work on them.
Go to the district office and go and get a new card. Your man a new card. So somebody had the same number as you. And the question I'm asking is, how does that happen?
But Your Excellency, IPAC is one platform, avenue, all these issues.
They bastardized IPAC. IPAC has become like an enemy to the commission. One, they don't want to call meetings of IPAC. And all those moribund parties and didn't exist anymore. They've gone to revive all of them and bring them onto IPAC so that they can get a majority to push their things through. IPAC is a very important body. Elections near credible because they build a consensus in IPAC. IPAC, before this commission came, always did things by consensus. But now it's by majority. Into Liberal, Deben Party, all those fly-by-night parties. IPAC. And so they are the majority there. So whatever the commission wants, they brief them beforehand. When they go, they shout everybody down. They pass their thing. They should take ownership for whatever happens. BVR, the new system they brought. Interesting. The exhibition would have been the opportunity to put out the BVRs. Let's put our hands on it.
Piloting 5,000 polling stations, the BVRs now, as part of the
And in many places, people put them identified. And on that day, when you do the real thing, 33,000 polling stations and 15,000 of the BVRs are not working properly. And then it means we resort to manual verification. And the reason for bringing this new hardware, and it's a eliminated manual verification.
Yeah, as much as possible.
As much as possible. Until now, on the facial one account. But even the ones they piloted, Bibre were not able to identify.
Okay, Your Excellency, you're quite say you can't legacy. What would you consider to be your legacy?
Oh, my legacy is that I serve the people of Ghana, and my contribution to the growth of Ghana's economy, Ghana's social and economic infrastructure, would be the legacy that I left in my first term. The legacy I want to leave in my next term is that I get this country working, get young people skills to be able to go into the world of work. Our infrastructure is not something I need to talk about. I've received enough, commendation from all the chiefs. Maybe Amakubia, it says thank you for our clinic. It's improved our healthcare. Thank you, and if these are important interventions, if you give people light, you understand. One, children are able to study at night. Two, they're able to do small industries and small work, ice water, sachet water, and all that kind of thing. If you give them clean drinking water, you cut down waterborne diseases. You cut down the distance that women have to travel to go and fetch water to come for the day's home activities. If you give them a school, the children are able to go to school. So these are important interventions that we have done. And I've received enough gratitude from the chiefs, and I will consider that to be a good legacy. And anytime you travel out of the country in ease, you go to Terminal 3, you are well taken care of. That is part of the legacy. Kwame Nkrumah interchange, that small runabout, we estimated almost 100,000 cars use that runabout a day to cross from eastern part of Accra to western Accra. Today, when you get to Kwame Nkrumah interchange, you spend a minute there. You would have spent 2 hours there. That is the legacy. You're going to Kaswa, you fly over that bridge. You don't see Kaswa anywhere. You would have stood in Kaswa for the next 3 hours. That is all part of the legacy.
Okay.
We built universities in all the regions. University of Health and Allied Sciences, myself and Professor Mills, built that university. Every graduate who comes out of that is a legacy to Professor Mills and myself. University of Energy and Natural Resources, University of Environment and Sustainable Development. I mean, it's countless. Today, if you have COVID, they'll take you to University of Ghana Medical Center.
Touch wood if I have COVID.
No, I don't wish you COVID. But I'm just giving you the examples
yes,
of
I get
things
you.
that people might not realize, affect their lives in a positive way. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
You may call for a break, but you may call People's Manifesto. But before the break, the question of legacy is important, and it links into this whole argument about borrowing, because at the end of the day, one thing it takes center stage in the 2016 campaign was Mubo Bosia Bibre, Nana Bosiano, and that script is coming back and it's playing out now. I recall, what can I say? Under you, who are they? 54 billion. 56 billion, sorry, to the national debt stock. And through that, what the year? I remember Baumia, Vice President Baumia lectures, say of our signature projects in Kabumua, they all amounted to some 7 billion. In Yobusa, say, out of 54 billion, they are carrying in a Sikano echoing, and you are asking them the same question now. Why? I didn't hear.
Because it's important. It's important. The public debt was 122 billion. That is from whatever time it was. 122 billion.
Yeah.
Today, the public debt is 257 billion. And he should ask himself the same question. What is there to show for it? If even in my time, and I don't believe in his analysis of what the total project profile was. I don't believe in his analysis. But if even in my time, let's assume that, yes, that is how much we spent. But this is how much debt we added. In this time, what can he show for what he spent? Does he have a single hospital? In 4 years, he hasn't built a hospital. He hasn't built any secondary school. Today, they are struggling to finish a few secondary schools. We're building 200 of them. They haven't built, which major road have they done? Which highway have they done? We did the asphalting of Wipe to Tamale. It was failing.
Yeah.
We did that for $54 million. There are several other projects we did, Kwame Nkrumah Interchange, all of them. At least we can stand and hit our chest and show things that we delivered, with the debt. Now 140 billion. You media people, ask him, what do they have to show in terms of social and economic infrastructure?
But would the answer you gave in 2016 not suffice? Say, Sir, Ghana for Yenko Parliament, all these loans pass through Parliament. About with project you gave
so
that
let
answer.
them show the projects. Let them show the projects. They should go and say, we passed these loans in Parliament, we built this and that and that and that. There's nothing. There's nothing to show. Pokwasi Interchange, that debt was accounted for in my time because that's when we signed the agreement with the African Development Bank. You know.
But is it not when you draw down the debt?
No. Once you approve it in Parliament, it is added to your debt stock.
Okay, even before the drawdown?
Before the drawdown. As soon as you approve any project in Parliament, it's added to your debt stock. That's the new IMF accounting method.
Okay.
And just find out, that's why we should sit together. And Kanana Toneya, I'll just sit with him and we'll all bring our papers and we'll just talk to the Ghanaian people and show what we did with 56 billion. And then he too can show what he's done with 140 billion. Oh, Maka, minim so man.
That's what the man is saying. We'll go for
but
this.
The point I'm making is, you see, the point is, why has the debt ballooned so much?
That much.
You have a finance minister who is a cousin to the president, whose interest is in raising bonds, and his own bank, Data Bank, is the broker for these bonds. There's a conflict of interest. There's a desire to borrow more because the more he borrows, Data Bank makes money. You understand? We've gone on the bond market for $9 billion. $9 billion within these 4 years. So the point is, we took $6 billion, but you can see what the $6 billion has done in our economy.
And you will raise a conflict of interest issues against the finance minister.
There's conflict of interest.
That means that it's something you would love to pursue. So because conflict of interest.
I will not pursue. The law will take its course. The law will look at everything. That's why I said it's better to clean your house than to wait for somebody to come and clean it for you. So these are things President Akufo-Addo should be dealing with. What I say?
Your Excellency, there is a lot to talk about in the People's Manifesto. And then questions for Asempa 94.7 FM, so near Adom 106.3 FM, and after Adom TV, Bedjem Jumedi, Media Saibon, so Chief Jerry Forson, Ewa, and Omai Henekwabna Asante, Ewa, His Excellency, the former President of the Republic, leader of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, and Aidin Komoye Basisia, na Aseatuaso. Simon Munyana Kwababio, Eba Asempa 94.7 FM, Adom 106.3 FM, and Adom TV. Bedroom Jumedi, Jason Sem, and Ekosi saying, Media Saibon, so Chief Jerry Forson, while my Henekwabna Santuaha, and His Excellency, the former President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and AD and Komo. So far, we've touched on so many issues. But Akabibria, Ebesheni Yetimi, Edihu and Komo. Yabeba the People's Manifesto, Yashe, Omanpenida da legacy, Ebusa and Sem Kakra Ewan, Yashe, Segana Foyen Adom Etua Banemana. What are the new things or they ever? But Mr. President, even before we come to the People's Manifesto, very quickly, anyway, in free of one thing defining 2016 campaign was corruption. This may be very topical in this campaign. I don't know why. Maybe because issues are policies that take center stage more than the issues of corruption. But so what's a buying way and the fight against corruption? Is there anything positive to talk about?
And by the issue because the media is supposed to set the agenda.
Okay.
And you've given this government a free ticket when it comes to corruption.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, the way you held us up to accountability is not the way you're holding this government up to accountability. Yes, it's true. It's true.
But we've not relaxed. I mean, we asked all the questions we raised. A lot of the scandals are abandoned at this government. The media brought them up.
And then you drop them and then you move on. Also, yeah, you continue and continue and continue. I mean, you set the agenda. And so if you want Ghana to discuss corruption, you can make them discuss it the way we did in 2016. But now, I mean, it's like, it's not a more important issue to anybody. But of course, I'm sure as a media man, you yourself will be disappointed at the way this government has handled corruption. You see, the thing about corruption is that it's not that it won't take place. You understand? And especially as president. I mean, there's a state institution. You've appointed somebody there. You understand? You would not know what he's doing there until it comes up.
Yeah.
When you're mamping,
yes.
What the Obiako share in a state institution or so Abayi Juma. Until Bibi Esi na Yakase Ukata Sishebi Esi Waha. Then Juma as president to make sure and as investigative processes take their course irrespective of Nipa Oye. What you're saying? The American say, and yes, corruption ain't see. How you deal with it, that matters. Say, koba na about your attention. Na odianya oyane say, upeja carpet no wapra fino akoshe carpet na say. O continue say opra fino ko carpet na say. Emre bebe dru ha na carpet na nye even bio baby be peja. Na obi fofroba na landlord fofroba no peja carpet na. Ni na ewa say he will sweep it all out. And then I say. Important say Nana to be dealing with these issues of corruption under his administration rather than Abainfo Frobeba to come and deal with it. There were post-regime accountability and there were regime accountability.
Yeah.
What you're saying?
Yeah.
It is better to say over having regime accountability than to have post-regime accountability. Say over say me corruption and kata say the project. Nti Abain dada etwemono. May prosecute you more. I know you're the easiest way to easiest form of fighting corruption. Nya ding and they say one kasa ukrofo omoye katesese ana proye. You're taking action against them. That is the mark of courage in the fight against corruption. Now Oshe and Abaya. I mean, just cases are big now. Just show taken against the person. Cases are big since this Abayin by all the boss scandal, then Kelly GVG, why all those scandals are married, then just maybe one example of any action that Abayin have against anybody.
Where the action means taking them to court, because some of them have been asked to step aside. If that also is part of the action, I don't know.
No, step aside in what sense?
And in the case of Obitse PPA,
yeah.
Public Procurement Authority boss, he's no longer boss of the PPA.
Yeah, but he file no special prosecutor.
Yes.
And then Ometeki. Special prosecutor or cases, a pile load of them. Because I mean, how many of the cases he's been able to prosecute? Yeah, because he teaching in Ewonichi. And so, on to proceeding, one, he has a problem with funding. On Betro budget, Musa, Office of Special Prosecutor, 180 million. And so at the end of the year, saying how much of that money and the money to be able to hire proper investigators and all that. Only investigators. And they also rely on Attorney General and police investigators. But we are one of the flagship anti-corruption fights. And he feels he would have moved Office of Special Prosecutor to some level, and then just leave him. Then Jano Nonye Lejuma. What I say? Yeah, but we'll leave the Office of Special Prosecutor free.
Office I will be maintaining.
Oh yes, why not? It's established by Parliament.
Okay.
We'll leave it free.
Okay.
Now on to Minye Lejuma. And the point is, my one name appointees. I say, hey, Papa Yochewa, mean to me, Joe. Enti ye Juba ye. Now be involving the whole in Katasisha and Aproye. Say, buying Esaso Muna, it's dealing with you.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. That's the kind of attitude that I was saying on Mampegi for. But like I'm saying, Katasichan Pride there. I mean, Abayin is the biggest institution in Ghana. Who are DCs, who are chief executives.
Yes. We've not done well.
They say more holding this government to the same standard of
we've not done well.
accountability.
In effect, we've not done well.
Yeah.
We've not done well. Ghana ain't here solutions. In fact, how do we cure family and friends issues? How do we cure the number of ministers that personally have said that this administration, or more ministerial appointment, I have a big challenge with it. How are you going to solve that problem for us? Because what we need to be assured of, because you two and the morning said, Ebushia, Namfo, Eyere, Emma, Amemuno. We don't say if you are a part of Ebushia, now we be president, I won't even quiet. But how do you solve that problem? Because you have the same situation, everybody follow. How are you going to cure it? Again,
and then again, the issue of nepotism in Yijimu, that's another thing that they come from now. How you are going to solve it? Excellence.
The point is, this particular administration, now president, Nipa, Omuye Nebusia, Omo in the presidency, is abnormal. Meaning, say, Obanpenyin Kofa Breso, Nanyuan Minister of Defense. But we share Dr. Adukufo. I mean, he's a person, he had been in parliament with us and all that. What I say, and raising eyebrows, yeah. But my then who say President Kofo a packet in the government with Nebusia for. You understand? For Samuel Sabreso, Nhyira Cadman was an advisor. And also Cadman will be the kind of person he is. What I say. Aside from that, who say President Mills a packet administration with Nebusia and the relatives.
John Mahama
Breso. Me na mini obia o yemi blood relation with my baby, except Joyce Bauer. Joyce Yemi Antiba. You know, so she's the only person, not a deputy minister. Aside from that, what they share, the whole administration, naturally, so you understand? Almost say one or two of your relatives might be qualified. What I say, but I will say, exercise a certain sense of judgment. It won't be like a Bushia Baku and Aji government being in Alpha because abiding for Ghanaians, you understand, and everybody is entitled, say, obey serving in government or benefits from whatever appointments there are. You get my point. But where the accordos on the door, you know, everybody will be a relative to somebody. Somebody is a relative to somebody. Somebody is a relative to somebody. What I say, ain't he a year or man because he's the appointing authority. On no matter appointments, so. Ain't he? So what I say? Normally, what we do is your appointments committee. And almost suggested the people who should be appointed. And you say, all the regions, you know, ever send the possible names for ministerial appointments, boards, and so on and so forth. Not yet the appointments committee. The appointments committee, it's not sir. I say, you recommend the way for this position, you recommend the way for this position, you recommend the way for this position. In terms of the reports back, then the president and a small group at Naso, and then they go through it. They go through. Nyaka say, way or Sefata. And oh yes, and we are also looking at regional balance. Say, we'll be making sure say at least every region represented in government. That is a transparent way to go about it. Minim senya, Ekoba say, President Ebusia for ne relations Akodos or Abai Musa.
And is it a promise you are willing to make, say, in your next government, God willing? There will not be an issue of family and friends.
I don't need to make that promise because I've been president before.
We need to hold you, probably.
No, we need something to hold you back.
Oh, I know them. It is your party foka. Also, wait there. Also, my you be here, so you're about and Casa. But no, principle is principle. What I say, we need to set examples for the future. Into my president,
yes,
I'm packing my government with my relatives, and it's not now that I'm going to do something like that.
And you are the family and your friends. How about friends? Because rule with your enemies. You have to rule or govern with people you know. How do we deal with that?
The point is, the family is the more pernicious. What I'm saying, friends there, you can have a friend who is very well qualified. Nobody will really raise eyebrows, say, Wadamfui is in this position or something. You know, but it's Ebusiano, you know, where one family, one, you know, community, or Moncroft, Busia, extended family, Ubia, Ajipos, or Baimu. That's where the problem is.
The time
friends know is, so we favor to friends, not based on issues of transparency, that's when you have a problem there.
Emrenti Yemra to the People's Manifesto. Now, yetimi time, and some of the big ticket, items are a womb. Number one, health. Of course, Ghana for be now, so Akoma so. In your next government, God willing, or agenda for health. I mean, you say free primary health care, which is like the major thing, more trumpeted.
Yeah.
What's the agenda for health in our next administration?
The agenda for health, they say, under the big push, you be accelerate access to health care. Because only any health policy, but none depending access, NHS and FASO so. It is all the national health insurance, but now within the constituency, my community, me need health facility. May they take advantage of health insurance? No?
Yes.
And one, I will see accelerated the availability of not only facilities but also say human resources, that is doctors, nurses, and so on and so forth, so that our people can have access. Then the second thing, and they say you put the policy in place, send your obiabit access to health care.
Yes.
And now your major flagship policy is free primary health care. So what NHIS, a premier President Kofo, by 2007, about payment in 2020. Nipa or Hanchichemu Edwan 40% of Ghana, and are more access through national health insurance. 60% are Kano, Nipa or Ha in Chichemu Edwasia have no access to health insurance. In Tomoko, I said, be Omuchiaka. I was said, Yade and Shishebi Bar, a bit me cover 60%, because the rate at which NHIS is not likely, say, by the time the SDG on health, universal health, is reached, a bit me attaining. I think it's left in how many years? 9 years or something like that to hit that SDG. And the free primary health care, which will be a better option, And yes, a be health insurance, if you the better health insurance, so that 60% are national health insurance, access to health insurance, and so will benefit from the free primary health care. And I know it will cover the lower ranks of the health system, CHIPS compounds, clinics,
district hospital.
up to district hospitals, yes.
But no be okay. Into health insurance, one major idea equity health insurance, claims payment. Obviously, because of that funding gap. Into even when amount for 8-year premium, still a government funded. CC with the primary health care, and yadi will be a premium. Where would the money come from? To sustain this, because obviously the numbers would be huge. Pressure on government finances would be more. Why would you want to put yourself in that fix?
A friend of Capping and Realignment Act.
Yes.
You try what statutory funds say exceed a certain percentage of the budget. Excess funding, Finance Minister Befa Edia to consolidated funds.
Yes.
William said because of that capping and realignment, I buy far better almost 1 billion cedis out of national health insurance every year. Almost 1 billion cedis, 900 and something million.
Yes.
Almost far at the two consolidated fund. Our estimates say you buy free primary health care.
Yes.
Will come to an average of about $8 per person. And to know calculate here, we need about 1.4 billion cedis a year to fund. Yes, to fund pre-primary health care.
Based on your projections.
Based on your projections. And just imagine, say, almost $1 billion is taken out from the health insurance fund. Then apart from that, VAT exemptions, normally NHIL can.
Yes.
But we're saying that NHIL should not be an exemption.
Okay.
And to exemptive VAT, if you like, you can take your get fund, you can take your value-added tax rate of 100%.
Yes.
But 2.5% equal national health insurance must not be exempted.
Yes.
And you're exempt here, it will bring more money into the national health insurance. Into their ways of improving health insurance. They'll be able to provide additional support. Apart from that, free primary health care, you bet me you issue oil revenue because you're redefining capital investments to mean also human capital.
Yes.
And every year you're far so far you're far out of the ABFA about 3 billion to fund free SHS. And if we take another 1.4 billion to fund health for all, I think it's in order. Into one, you business car from ABFA, and then two, you business car from the extra money that will be released under the NHIS. And I think it's possible to fund
how?
Okay. Until now,
yeah.
How was the almost 1 billion spent until now? Not there's money this has come here.
Until now, that money was used to pay claims, and then also finance administration and the other things are national health insurance here. And right now, Omuyi says it can every honor. It's emasculating them. What they call facility providers, no. A lot of them have Omuka for many months. And so somehow this government Omu a way of suppressing people. That's part of the suppression of our democratic rights. We are teaching now can be shim Kanduri, Ana Bole, the same way, health workers near there, the hospital administrators, would they complain say on national health insurance and my, you if you want, they work or a abakrampa, Ana, that's how.
But CHAG, Christian Health Association, they are not directly under government.
No, but they threatened to introduce cash and carry some time back. One thing. Christian Health Association.
But now almost they've been paid 3 months.
I think they are paying discriminatorily. They at once. Right now, the ones who seem to make the noise, not your basically they come home, to silence them. And ultimately say, Obi at the car 4 months, Obi at the car 9 months. Instead of paying all of them uniformly. Especially buying IR Sabia, they are the ones that suffer. Because I buy an appointment into Oyafia, you.
Excellency, still on health and health insurance for that matter. One issue, my opponent, Omuyusu against Mopa, your promise of one-time premium. And on maybe we need to get clarity. Piloting there, but Anyejuma, didn't you?
Anyejuma because we had to deal with single spine. Single spine and a policy. It was inherited from Kufuor Aban. Until when we came, now there were one-time premium policy. We could have funded it. But Oshe Abraye implemented single spine any arrears now there wasn't sufficient, funding to be able to do the one-time premium. Anything one-time premium. That's why we left it.
But you knew you were coming to inherit single spine.
No. I mean, we're not part of the discussions on single spine. It was when just the week before we were to take over, President Kufuor's administration announced a 30-something% increase under the single spine. Luckily, any union for not trans, and so they won't take that into consideration. And we thought that single spine, the way they were negotiating it, revenue neutral. I just say it won't lead to any upsurge in a. By the time wages and remuneration were consuming 73% of total tax revenue. It is 27%. And only the goods and services, capital investment, and everything. To fund one-time premium at that time. But we still hadn't given it up. Until Mebeye president, I set up a team to review the national health insurance and then come out with suggestions on how we can achieve universal health. Because the one-time premium was to achieve universal health. Because Nipa Bebre health insurance card they will. And so Omuniska renew. And they cannot access health care, because Omuniska will be renew. And that purpose was to achieve universal health for all. And you set up a review committee to review the health insurance and see how we can achieve it. And the reports by and about I think in September and Sanami free about 2016. Now share our report to do free primary health care is there. I'm saying the only way I able to achieve universal health for all is to implement a free primary health care program. And the Amaya experts at Transit and on market, we've done the calculations and the say a beboa.
Say Kanema Penny John Dramani Mahama Franka Tuni de Ma and this Yamanyukono wo Afi Yabatu Mono or no and now my Hine Kwabena Sante Chief Jerry Forson and Osebo so Philip Obi. Wamonkomo Chichieno, me did say what Tibia Kama, enti baby a direction ne keka kono so me gidi se udile ne so akama but enkomo na ye de enso ye twa wo so wo ho ye twa wo so fi se fisem komo twetwe enso ba wakwam na so o sa wa akwanya se sa nkomo ye a wo hwe na Adom TV so na wo sa tie na Adom FM so anopay no awia ekosi se dwumade so no mienu wo be sa atesa eye enkomo twetwe enti aye hia obi ene na bedwafo anase ne nkrofo wa asempa enkomotuche ne besa ahyase ma kwakosi ase na afa ewahu sede ekoye na afa ni nyina atofa bom no wabɔ ne pɔ na wasi wadwipi na 7 December openima abosome de tosonson ugokromoti power no aye adwuma e de ama o mebi nso aka Ghana anopa me da se fisam komotuche na duru so enkomo a ye die no ne se ye hwe maslo kwan a wo ye dwadini wo befa so a won so e be benefit o ye ntonkra yimra eno achi ni ato so
What did you dear? Merry CB men's capsules. And you may use Madame Bohobio CB men's capsules by dear. What 2 points?
I don't know. You're very good. Say that McDonald, I'm a swam and go and 10 times. He said, we need you some Arabia house to be credit.
Said to say, my yes, you dear CB women.